what's up? Jeff here with Godbold Exotics. Wanted to do something kind of fun. Our first episode, not the pilot episode, but the episode after that, we did an episode here, or a couple episodes with Glen Brooks, and we talked about rhino rats as well as some Malagasy cat-eyed snakes. Well, in that same spirit, we were going to kind of talk about another Madagascar species, and these are the Malagasy tree boas, or the Madagascar tree boas. And thought it would be kind of nice to do our 100th episode here, so that's going to be really cool. I can't believe we've done 100 episodes, but anyways, it's nice to get back here with Glen, and wondering if you could maybe just tell us what we've got here.
Yeah, these Sanzinia are called a mandarin phase. There's also a green phase that runs a little bit smaller and much rarer in the pet trade. They're pretty hard to get a hold of. But I've had these guys since they were just newborn babies. They are really docile, great feeders, grow really well, and for me at least, they bred really easily. Last year was the first chance they had where they were big enough, and they bred, and I was able to produce 6 babies.
Yeah, one thing that I noticed while having these out, and kind of you showed me this earlier, but they are not head shy by any stretch of imagination at all. I mean, they just... Is that typical?
That's what I understand. These are my only experiences with these two, and I don't handle them a ton, but I clean their cages and pull them out and take pictures, and they're just really docile animals. So it's certainly been my experience that they're great for handling and raising.
That's so funny. I mean, so is this a typical size? I've got the male in my hands now, and this is the female. So these guys are proven. So obviously they'll breed at this size, but this is a standard size for these guys?
These guys are still growing, so they're young adults. I would say they're bigger than subadults. They're breeding size, but they're young adults. Okay. So they will still, I would say they'll get another foot or a little more in length.
They're pretty girthy for a tree boa.
Yeah, they the moniker seems to stick more when they're hatchlings, not hatchlings because they're boas, but when they're babies.
Right.
They tend to spend more time in trees, and then as they mature, they pick up more and more weight, and they begin to spend more time on the ground.
Huh.
So generally, after 2 to 3 years, you'll find them spending most of their time on the ground. But before that, they tend to spend a lot of time in trees. So
very cool. So, I do see that they do have a prehensile tail, and he's got a pretty tight grip on me. But you guys have seen me talk about the prehensile tail in some of my other videos with arboreal species. These guys seem to still have that capability if they want to climb. Now, are they more of a draper?
Yeah,
you would say.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They would definitely drape over branches or find a nook in a tree trunk and climb up into that.
So, you had these guys as hatchlings, so what's the maturity like? If someone wanted to get a pair of babies or something like that, what would they look at before they could breed?
You're probably looking at about 4 years. I think these bred at in their 4th year. And has to do with how much you feed them, and for the most part, they will generally feed whenever offered. They're usually very good eaters. So at about 4 years, you probably can put them together. Most people recommend only breeding the female every other year, as you do normally with a lot of boas, because it takes so much out of the female.
Right.
This girl did not eat for, I think, 8 months.
Oh, wow.
Last year. And then she had her babies. But as you can see...
Oh, yeah, she's put all that back. She doesn't look like she misses a meal.
Yeah. She actually has a quail in her from a few days ago, so she looks a little bigger than she really is, but still, Yeah, she's put all her weight back on. So she's done really well. So I'm thinking I'm going to see if they want to breed again this year. I'll let them make the decision.
What size litter did they throw?
6. So
6.
I can't even remember if there were any slugs. I think there might have been a couple of slugs. But I had 6, and she graciously gave me 3 boys and 3 girls.
Oh, nice.
And so I sold 2 pair and kept 1 pair that was unique in that it was high yellow.
We'll get a picture of those here in a second.
When they're young, this darker brown is black, and this sort of...
Let's see if we can get a little bit closer to the camera with that.
So you can see this darker, this is black, and that's yellow as babies. But as they get older, it kind of blends into probably a better pattern for hiding.
Yeah, sure. If they're up in the trees, they could totally blend in as a branch, I think. Or on the leaves if they wanted to.
Yeah, so these guys threw 1 pair. The male is pretty yellow, very yellow compared to what these were as babies. And the female is ridiculously yellow, the most yellow of any snake I've seen from the mandarins.
You know what they kind of... This is probably a bad comparison, but as I'm watching these guys and the way that their mannerisms are and movements, I'm assuming they're really ravenous feeders, correct?
Yep.
So they kind of remind me of a Brettles python in like a tree boa form. Like, they're kind of big, very slow moving, easy feeders, pretty placid, bulletproof. I don't know.
They seem to do pretty well, even especially as adults. They tend to endure mistakes of too dry, too wet, too hot, too cold, as long as it's all within reason. They tend to be okay with most all of that.
Okay. Well, cool.
They do like water, so always keep a large water bowl with them. And I love that they've got sort of a pit bull face. I don't know if you can see that.
I wanted to kind of like put the pits up, see if they could see the pits around the mouth. I mean, very, very unique as far as the heat pits go.
And a very big sort of, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, very, very muscular head.
Yeah. With
the lobes.
So, never been bit. They're very good.
Back a little bit. Yeah. They're beautiful. They're beautiful animals. So, maybe we could take out a couple of the babies real quick.
Absolutely.
And show everybody what those look like.
Now the babies are more apt to snap at you.
That's okay. This is unedited. This is raw. We are not blending videos together. We're just rolling with this one.
Okay. This is the very yellow one.
Holy cow! When you said yellow,
yeah,
I didn't know that you meant like this. I mean, this looks like some type of funky hybrid.
Yeah, and this is the male that is also high yellow, but not quite what she is.
Good night. Oh my gosh, look at the...
So hopefully these two will be able to continue this trait and maybe line breed some very yellow animals.
I am blown away. I had not really seen these until he pulled them out.
Yeah, they're really
that is just incredible.
And I'll say I had no intention on keeping babies, and when these came out, I was like, yeah, I'm keeping those for sure.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, very unique. Well,
now
you want some of these?
Yeah.
That's the problem with making these videos.
I know. I got to stop. I've had people reach out to me and say, "Hey, you haven't put out a video in a while." I'm like, "I'm working on it." Maybe there's another reason to that. Yeah, see if we can get kind of close.
Cute little guys.
So this is the female here, and this is the male?
No, you've got the female.
Oh, I've got the female, okay.
Female's the high yellow. And you can see, basically, they have the same black that they would normally have. but there's a black, brown, and yellow. And so the female has all the regular black, but almost none of the brown. What would be brown is yellow. Wow. And then this girl, or this guy, just has, he has the brown, but it's really diluted with yellow.
Even still, I mean, these saddles and the spots, or the whatever you want to call them here, these triangles on the sides are just insane.
Yeah. Yeah, so all the babies are really pretty bright, sort of high contrast compared to the adults.
Right.
And so there's not an ugly baby of Sanzinia, but these are particularly unique in that they're high yellow.
That's insane. Wow. Very cool. Well, for you guys that want to reach out to Glen, I'll put his info in the description. I really appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely.
And yeah, Sanzinia, Madagascar tree boas. Now these are the Western variety, right?
Yeah, these are Westerns, and they're generally referred to as Mandarin phase.
Gotcha.
They're Mandarin coloring.
Gotcha.
And the other ones that are rarely seen are the greens.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I really appreciate you having me over. And
absolutely.
This guy's got an awesome collection. He's got a lot of diversity here. Anyways, you're always seeing pictures that you're posting, because you take awesome pictures. So again, thanks for having me over. And until next time, guys, you've been watching Godbold Exotics.